Hey, so in the past couple of days, I've been able to put all of my writing that I've done longhand into my computer, and I'm about finished with that final step. In the meantime, what I've done is I've also printed out several parts of the book, and I've created a sort of makeshift draft, which I've been also reading through and checking for anything that I could modify or any parts that I would just like to completely get rid of. I have that here with me. Right here you can see I have some notes that I've made. Red is for parts that I would like to remove or maybe perhaps like to rewrite, and then blue are sort of separating the chapters and separating the parts of the book. In my last video I talked about discussing topics and themes in this episode, and I'll do that. It won't really take too long to get into those ideas. Although the book is largely about crime, and it's about particularly this type of organized crime that I'm writing about, it's all fictional, that takes place in the kingdom. The main feature of the story is also classism and the differentiation between people that are nobility, people that are a part of the royal family, people that are sort of a nouveau riche. They are people that have earned their money in the last 20 to 30 years. People who own land, which would be another type of class, that are sort of old money, this sort of theme that persists throughout many different books, usually in the 20th century. And then I do have a lot of stories that relate to what would we call in Jordan a sort of a working class lifestyle. Of course, I wouldn't really think about this book as a political novel or talking a little bit about any sort of socialist ideas or trying to reform the way that the country is run or the way that the kingdom sort of treats different classes. Mainly I write about this because it's a sort of realistic way of classifying the kingdom, and I think people would resonate with that idea. Related to that theme that I talk a lot about is the way that the country is separated, or whether the kingdom is sort of delineated with different parts, ranging from mountainous to I would call them small mountains, to desert, which is I'd say about 80% of the country, which is desertous. With that, I also sort of put a lot of emphasis on the differentiation between north and south. North I would consider the capital, where the capital city is, and the south. And with that differentiation, I discuss about how the culture is incredibly different, coming from the north or coming from the south. I discuss in that, of course, class does come up, of course, opportunities come up, different types of income disparities, different job opportunities, clan rules, civil law, all of these themes come up, and I try to make it as realistic as I can, but at the same time I try to make it have that fictional vein that travels through it the whole time. I mean, I don't want to make it too realistic that it ends up reading like nonfiction. I do want it to seem fictional. Another theme that I talk about, or perhaps a topic that I start mentioning, is this sort of domestic relationships. This could be between husband and wife, which is a topic that I discuss a lot. Roles in a household, the relationship between father and son is an important theme that I discuss a little bit throughout different families that I see in the book, and also this sense of feeling lonely, or feeling disconnected from people that you perhaps share close proximity to, or if they're sort of in your vicinity, and then you can still feel quite alone. This could be for reasons of class differences, or this could just be generational differences. This could be some sort of feelings that might be interior, or this could be some sort of exterior influence that could be causing some disruption. For example, in one of the stories, one of the characters that I have in the book has sacrificed his his chance to go to college. And he's a young man in the story, so that he could go to work and earn enough money to send his younger brother to university. And it is just not because the younger brother is slightly more intelligent, not that he has slightly greater prospects in life, but simply because the older brother finds it the duty to provide just like the parents would. And so a lot of these customs, a lot of these roles, this domestic thinking that happens when people are sharing sort of a domestic responsibilities or household responsibilities. What do their roles entail? I discussed that a little bit as well. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm almost done compiling everything into the computer. I should be done with that in the matter of a few hours. As soon as I finish that, I'll be taking a look at my draft one more time, reading through, checking for anything that doesn't seem to fit, deleting, and then going through the gruesome process of going through the computer and fixing those little details. On my computer right now, it says that I'm up to about 70,000 words, which means that if I can calculate the time correctly, it should take me maybe between 5 and 8 hours to do that. Hopefully it wouldn't take more. I'm quite happy with the word count so far. I didn't think I would ever reach 70,000 words. I'm just remembering back to 1 year ago when I only had about 40,000, and I thought that would be that was all I could really muster. That was kind of my limit creatively, or in a sort of productive sort of metric. But I'm very happy with myself that I've been able to push through. Who knows if I do continue to leave this and sort of let it ferment and think a little bit more, come back to it a little bit later and write. Maybe it could reach that 100,000 word cap that I did kind of give myself at the beginning. Hopefully it won't be too long. I'm not exactly sure how many pages that is so far, but from what I've printed out in a sort of manuscript format, it looks like it's sort of breaking 200 pages so far. In my next video, I'll go in to some detail about things that I've removed. Hopefully by that time I will have finished editing or removing and adding any last bits and pieces to the manuscript, and I'll be able to print it one more time. By that time I will talk in my next video about finding an editor, which is something I'm about to do as well. Maybe even seeing who could find maybe to do it for free, who would like to just read the manuscript that I have right now, and maybe someone close to me, and I can see what they have to say about it or any advice that they could give me as well. Thanks, I'll see you next time.